Hi, this is Shan Mantri. I'm on the Bain CCG board and I'm clinical lead for the Map and Medicine project. And in this brief video, I will talk you through the installation of Map Sidebar and just some of the basics about setting up the system if you haven't done it before. Here is my home PC and here I've got Map Sidebar. It depends on when you first log on the system what you will see, but I will take it right from the beginning if you've not got anything immediately installed. Hopefully on your desktop, on your practice computer, you should either see the sidebar or you might see this icon here which loads the sidebar. If you don't even see that, it may be worth going to the Start menu and looking for it under All Programs. So if I click on Sidebar, get it to run, I'm greeted with this page. Now, for some of you, or many of you who haven't used Sidebar before or installed it, you might see this page first off. And I think that many of you might see this and simply close it. But I'm just going to talk you through how to log on. So the process I will show you, you will only need to do once. And once you've done it the first time for your PC, you won't necessarily need to do it again because it ties the login to your Windows login. However, if you move to a different computer, which you've not used Map and Medicine for, you will have to do this process again. So just to bear that in mind. So here we have the Map and Medicine term and conditions. You would just accept that. And then you get to this screen. If you didn't get this screen at all, you would just click login and that will take you to this screen. And at this point you all should have an address and password, and these should have been issued for you, and if you don't know what that is, I would suggest that you either speak to your practice manager or if they aren't available, to contact the Map and Medicine customer services, which there should be details at your practice. So you would type in your email address here and your password, and then log on. Okay, once you've logged on, you should see this on the screen. So here's Sidebar, and as you can see, it should have your name and hopefully Bath and North East Somerset CCG below it. And you should also see, hopefully, a directory button, and we'll come on to that in a different video, but that's how you get your referral forms. There is a bug at the moment on the system in which you may not necessarily see directory. So if you don't see it, simply close or press that button to minimize Sidebar, and it should come up. If it doesn't, I'll explain what you need to do in a second. The other thing just to bear in mind is that on this PC I've got a demo version of TPP, so there's a green tick here next to System 1, which simply means that the sidebar has detected System 1, and it means that it's running and it should be connected. Okay, so once you've logged in, what you need to do is make sure the system is got all your details, and what you need to do is to check that is to go here, which the little cog, which is the settings bar. So if I press on that, if you've not done this before, this pop-up comes up, and this essentially asks you for your practice details. The reason why this is important is that the system will use those details to populate the forms. So if you don't fill this in and you use the system to create a form, things like your practice details and who you are may be missing. So I would encourage you to fill this in. You don't necessarily have to fill it in the first time you log on, but it is advisable to do it. Otherwise you will get the full benefit of the referrals and map forms. So I will start putting stuff in. So because this is a public video, I'm just going to make up my details. So here I will put Mickey Mouse at Disney.com, and CCG would be Disney. Practice code. Oh, I probably should mention, with regard to your email, it does depend what you want to put in. You can leave it blank, that's absolutely fine. None of the forms, I believe, stipulate you must use email, but it would be helpful if you use an email that you will either use or be checked. And we would always say that, although I put Mickey Mouse at Disney.com, that you use an NHSnet email address. And for some GPs, or majority of GPs, it may be better to use your practice generic NHSnet email address. But if you're not sure, leave it blank. CCG, it doesn't matter too much. I put Disney, but you can put Baines, is probably more appropriate. Practice code, although it says practice code, we would suggest that you use your actual practice name, because we use that code in order to produce a relevant field in a form. So don't use your code, actually use your name. So I will call this practice Disney, and the address is just your address. So let's do 123 Disney World, Florida. Telephone number 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 0, and let me just do that. There we are. So do OK. These are the other settings that you might want to consider. When to start the sidebar. I've got here manually, just because this is a home computer, but I would strongly advise you clicking the when I start Windows. All that simply means is that you won't necessarily need to log in. The system will log on automatically as soon as you set up or get into Windows. The integrate with map sidebar, at the moment it's integrated with System 1. We do have EMIS web integration, but that's going to be several weeks away. So if you were EMIS web, you'd obviously click that button. Login method. This is something that can be a bit confusing. It needs to be Athens. It seems counterintuitive as we have smart cards, but it needs to be Athens. The reason being is that the smart card login system was used, I believe, in the north of England. In the south of England, we always for map has Athens, and so make sure it's clicked to Athens. If you click smart card, it will go into a loop and will stall and will really slow your system down. So just click Athens. Automatic updates, just keep it late at night, and I always click log out on exit. The last two things down here, practice details. If I click the things that I've just done, so if you didn't do it the first time, you could click on this, or if you wanted to update it, you could. And here is the license details. You shouldn't really need to bother with that. Hopefully that would have been done already. But if you recall earlier in the video, I suggested if you didn't see the directory button either on the maximized or minimized version, that it would be worth checking. And actually, if that's not the case, you might need to actually input the license. So you do that by clicking on that, and you will sort of put it in. As you can see here, it says this application is already licensed for map referrals. So it's already been done, or I've done it previously. I don't need to do it again. If that wasn't there, you put in the license key, and again, it may be worth going through your practice manager, or if not, going through Map Medicine customer support. Okay, so let's close that, and okay. And one last thing I wanted to talk to you about was the integration between Map Medicine and System 1. As I said before, we have a green tick, which means that hopefully it is integrated, but there's one or two settings on System 1 that we sometimes need to alter in order for it to work. So let's bring up System 1. And here we have a dummy system, which I've got here done by a Dr. David Chan. So David is one of the Map Medicine consultants, and he's kindly let me use his dummy system, hence why in these videos you will see his name rather than my name, as I've used his login. So let's bring up a patient. Okay, let's bring up a patient. Here we have. Now, when you do bring up a patient, what should happen is that that patient should then be seen here. And there does seem to be a problem that although I've got a patient here, that patient doesn't seem to be replicated here. Now that's important in the fact that if you then try to do a referral form, the information from System 1 wouldn't be pulled over if it's not talking to one another. And again, this should be sorted when you're first using it, but if it's not, what you need to do is have a look at the System menu, click on System, go to PC Settings, and go to Client Integration. And what should be a case is that enabled. So Client Integration simply means that System 1 is able then to talk to other pieces of software. And at the moment it's not clicked, which simply means that System 1 is not talking to anyone else. It's not talking to Map Medicine. So all I will do is click that button. Do that. Okay. Discard. Search. There we are. So by doing that, you get a little pop-up. NewMed is trying to contact System 1. Not sure what NewMed stands for, but if you allow connection, there we are. As you can see, Kelly Abbott is now here. So it means that we know that this is all integrated and it's all working. And it tells you, if I click on there, it tells how old the patient is and so forth. So that was really all I wanted to show you on this video. I didn't want to get into too many details as to maps and referrals and sidebar. It was really a simple video just to say about installing it. Once you're at this stage and you did the settings as I'd suggested, you will have this already installed every time you log on. So it's just a one-time process. I hope that was helpful, and please check out the other videos for more information about actually using the different parts of Map Medicine.